I have a personal letter that I got from Nancy Reagan. I had a chance to sit with her and on her birthday, and it was an amazing meeting. And she wrote me a letter, not a 3-page letter, but a nice letter, and it just reminded me of the era right now, as we are all frustrated and stressed with what is happening. I had this flashback that harkened back to some incredible leadership that this country has had I consider that somewhat recent history. And it was amazing to see, even in this personal note, the desire to lead and love the country. It was a wonderful thing. Anyway, but we've got Sam Case here from FISM News. I would love to see as many of you as possible continue. It is growing every day, but how many are going to the FISM News site, maybe off the app, maybe directly through FISM.tv/news that you're doing that, or going to FISM.tv and clicking on that news tab? More and more people going to it, and that is a real blessing. And of course, on Tuesdays and Thursday evenings, we kind of recap the week and the weekend there at 7 o'clock in the evening Eastern Time, 6 o'clock Central Time, and FISM.tv. It's a half-hour news presentation, and you can program and you can watch that. And I hope you'll do that. All right, Sam Case from our newsroom. What is happening, Sam?
Well, Biden gave his quasi-State of the Union address the other day. And before I go into that,
you're not really calling that a State of the Union.
Yeah, that's right.
Can we rephrase? Let's start over again.
Hold
up, Sam. So we have Sam Case here from FISM News. Hey, Sam, what's happening?
Well, Biden said some things before Congress. How does that sound?
That's better.
Yeah,
much better.
That's right. Well, I wanted to comment to your audience, too, because what you said about Ronald Reagan. I just want to remind conservatives never to despair. I think it's in our nature to think that the country is always on its last leg. But Ronald Reagan's a good reminder, coming off of Jimmy Carter, how things really can turn around very quickly. And we learned that from Donald Trump, too. He dug that economy out of the ditch from Obama and what came before in the 2008 crash. And look what Trump did in just a couple years. Of course, we're in bad shape again, but it can always turn around. It always can turn around. And as Christians, we should hope in that as well.
That's for sure.
That's right. But yes, Biden did say some things to Congress. Oddly, a masked Congress when everyone's vaccinated. So it's all theater there, so it would seem. But yes, Biden spoke. And in case you didn't watch the whole thing, it was over an hour. I think it was an hour and 10 minutes. Ian Patrick did an excellent recap on our website, so you can go and catch that without having to watch the whole thing in its entirety. I think CBS did a poll, and they said 85% of people approved of the speech. I don't know if I believe that. I think maybe people fell asleep within the first 5 minutes and they had a good nap.
You consider who was the 85% that watched it? Probably all the Democrats who were so relieved that he was there were watching it. I don't think... Anyway, needless to say, they may have skewed those statistics a bit.
It's very possible. I didn't go into depth into seeing who they polled. Right. So like I said, I won't go into detail, but it can be summed up with the word bigger spending and bigger government. The whole thing was more programs, more spending, more debt. Ian had a great line in his article. He said, Biden keeps saying build back better, but after watching that State of the Union, it should be build back bigger.
Yes.
That's definitely what it would be. And then I was blessed of being able to cover Tim Scott's speech. Ian had the task of covering Biden. I got to look at Tim Scott, what he was up to. He gave a very good speech. I didn't necessarily agree with all of it, but I still encourage everyone to go look at it. It was 15 minutes long, so it will be edifying to you to watch that. He pushed back on Biden's claims that Biden is this unifying force. He's going to heal the soul of the nation. He's the high priest of America. He talks in this grandiose language, almost a little bit similar to Barack Obama. And he pointed out, Tim Scott did, that Biden just isn't that unifying. He's incredibly radical in he conducts his partisan behavior. Under Trump, Congress got more things done in a bipartisan fashion than under Biden. And Tim Scott also tackled the racial divisions in America, where he said definitively that America is not a racist country. And I think that was probably the best portion of his speech, where you have this young black Republican talking about race in America and how this country is not a racist country. It just blows in the face of everything that the left's saying. But
so I would assume, Sam, that that all of the absolutely horrifying things that were said, the N-word and other things that were used, Twitter took all those accounts down, I would assume, because it's hate speech, right? And they are fighting against hate speech. So I'm sure that they took all of the accounts down from those people.
You would think. You would think, Dan,
You would think. But again, we see this incredible, gross hypocrisy coming out of social media, because somehow that wasn't really hate speech. I don't know what it was, but I guess they didn't classify it that. I say one thing on YouTube about the virus, and we're off, and all that goes on. It's just so pathetic.
We had a warning for having a Trump video behind the scenes on YouTube. So it wasn't even put up on YouTube, and they gave us a warning for that. You can't have anything from Donald Trump on YouTube.
Well, probably looked like he was saying something hateful, I guess.
He wasn't saying anything. No one could see it. It was behind the scenes.
Oh, man.
Yes. But yes, no, you're exactly right. Seth Udinsky wrote a great article about the blowback from the left on Tim Scott's speech. So there's been this joke going that the left wanted to prove that America is in fact racist by being racist themselves. Right. Uncle Tim was trending on Twitter, and that's a reference to the pejorative Uncle Tom, that for some reason you can just get away with saying that, and that's just fine. So like I said, go read Seth's article. It's appalling, but it is fascinating to see this doublethink that people can have, where they think if they say something racist to a Republican, that's not racist, but everything else is. So it's a very fascinating situation for the accepting and tolerant wing of the Democratic Party. In other news, Trump is bringing back his rallies, which is exciting and can be terrifying, as you never know exactly what he's going to say. FISM News is planning on being at one of those rallies as soon as they take place. It's fueled speculation whether he actually has plans to run again in 2024. In CPAC, the president made teasing remarks about taking another shot at the White House, but you just never know, and he has been delaying in announcing, so has given pause as to whether he's actually going to run again. And he's been praising candidates like Ron DeSantis, Ted Cruz, Mike Pompeo, people like this who he said would be strong contenders in the 2024. So you never know. Trump may be kingmaker in 2024, or he may be the guy that we're voting for again. We just don't know.